everybody, I'm Beebs Kelley. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. Catherine the Princess of Wales is one of the most sophisticated, chic, and successful dressers out there today. And last week we went over some major fails courtesy of the Meg. So this is the palette cleanser you've been waiting for. You'll remember we discussed the keys to having a great fashion moment come down to a number of factors that go beyond the clothing design themselves. The fit and finish, having tailoring done, having a good base layer, looking polished. The styling, whatever hair, makeup, jewelry, and accessories you pair it with, whether that be shoes, belt, handbag, gloves, etc. This helps enhance the clothes themselves. It creates a nice flow for your outfit overall, and the whole look should be complementary. It being suitable for the occasion and the weather helps it read well and make sense to our brains when we see it. Comfort is important. Not just that you feel comfortable with the clothes like on your body, but also that you're comfortable with the style. If it's something you're not used to wearing, or you feel self-conscious in it, or it's highlighting a flaw you don't like, or it's too hot for the weather, or things like that, you won't be comfortable and we will be able to tell. Even your posture can indicate whether you're truly feeling comfortable and confident in the outfit, and that makes all the difference in bringing the whole look together. And of course, the clothes design themselves. They should complement your figure. It should bring balance and enhance your silhouette. There's little doubt that Catherine manages to hit these marks in darn near every single outfit. But keep in mind, for anyone, you want to think of those 5 ingredients on sort of like a graded scale. There's a range of acceptability. You want to do as good as you can in each of those 5 categories, but don't necessarily expect, especially on normal everyday people here, that you're going to hit high-end achievement on all 5 of those elements. That's really, really hard to do. And for most occasions, it doesn't matter. When you're just doing your normal day-to-day life, running errands, doing school runs, just living life, everyday life, none of that stuff really matters all that much. Where it does matter, I feel like I have to say this every time, where it does matter is those important occasions. For people who are in the public eye, or if you're going to be doing a competition, important job interview, being photographed for a special occasion like a wedding or a graduation. These are the times where it does matter, where it's nice to know. The rest of the time, it's just little tips and tricks that when you can incorporate it, it will boost your confidence, it will look better, and that is nice to be able to do, but it's a total bonus. But even for people who have stylists, tailors, and big budgets, it is difficult to hit 100% in each of those elements or ingredients, and it gets expensive. So you aim to pass at least. An outfit in general, at least when it comes down to one of those sorts of occasions where you feel it matters, should fit well in at least 60 to 70% of the areas. For example, sometimes you'll surpass it, and that's great. So let's use an example on Catherine, an outfit that didn't work as well as others. We're used to seeing her in stuff that's just like, wow, that looks spectacularly perfect. In this scenario, let's be clear, it is a fun look. She was definitely trying out a preppy style with interest added via volume, and it did look good on her. It looked as good on her as it would on anybody else. In fact, a shorter person would have ended up looking completely swallowed up by this outfit. So I'm not saying it was tragic, but it wasn't quite as well pulled together or quite as well suited to her as we're used to seeing. So we're going to use it as an example to compare to her typical near perfect style. She is wearing a white button-down shirt underneath a gray sleeveless sweater vest that's a rather chunky knit, and she paired it with Cezanne trousers, also gray, and tweed J. Crew low pumps. So she always looks gorgeous and radiates kindness, so really what she wears is just a bonus. Even if an outfit isn't your favorite taste or it's not perfect, she still looks lovely. There's no denying that in this scenario and all the rest, she looks well put together and polished no matter what. And that paired up with her warm smile and genuine vibes really makes the detail of the outfit secondary and much less important. But for the purpose of today's video, we're going to take a closer look at this one. So let's start with fit and finish. This does fit her well, there's no question. The trousers are the right length here. They're not overwhelming, they're not puddling up on the floor. And there are no issues with finish. There's no visible panty lines, VPL, nothing like that. The sleeves look maybe a tad bit wrinkly or big, like they're maybe just a little bit oversized, but I think that's down to the style and the fabric of this shirt itself. I don't think that's necessarily like a styling mistake. As for her styling, her hair, makeup, accessories, and whether or not they flow and complement the look overall, I think that the minimal jewelry was a really good option. Her earrings are nice and small, so they're not dangling down, crowding this area even more, because she has a thick, chunky, high collar that's also 2 layers, and she has her hair down. And I do love her hairstyle here, but because we do have a high layered collar, an updo might have been better. It might have helped elongate her up out of this, brighten it up, give it a little bit more energy and bounce, like a really cute high bun with her little bit of fringe hanging down on the side. It would have been a really cute touch. So I kind of wish we could have seen it like that, but her hairstyle still looks really nice here. It is encouraging a little bit more of a downward vibe with it though, so I do think that a bun would have been more successful perhaps. I don't particularly love this shoe, unfortunately. Now, in person, up close, it might not actually be off tone because it is tweed, so there might be some exact match of gray in it, but from the photographs, from our angle, it looks very warm toned, those shoes do, so they don't really go with the gray tones of the outfit as well. I like the shoe style on its own and the chunky heel, but I think that what would have worked better in this particular outfit would have been boots, either black or a charcoal gray, or maybe even flats would have been all right. These just almost look a little too small and a slightly awkward eye catch. Next, suitability. Definitely reads well here for the weather, for the occasion. Very appropriate. It was October, so they're on par for the season, and it is professional, so this works and fits in with the surroundings. As far as for comfort, I don't think she looks quite as confident in this outfit as she does in other outfits. She just looked almost a little bit more shy than usual, and I think that's in part because the top is a little bit bigger. It's almost adding a vulnerable vibe. But it does look relatively comfortable, like she was actively comfortable in it in terms of moving and whatnot. But I think maybe she just didn't think it was quite right, and she was right. Some people might find this amount of fabric and the chunky, thick, high collar a little stifling, but that is more on a person-to-person basis, whether you like having high collars or not. As for the clothes design themselves, do they complement her figure? Are they a good color scheme? Do they enhance her silhouette and balance her out? This is the element that I would give the lowest score for this particular outfit to. The trousers are nice. They're not dramatically huge, they are tailored, but the top just isn't working for her. It reads a little bit too big in the sleeve because of the length and volume together, and the seam looks like it's a little farther out than where her actual shoulder line is. So it's almost as if the shirt is one size too big. Or, Catherine is very thin, so perhaps she ordered an extra small and it's still a little bit too big. Every manufacturer is different. But that undershirt having a little bit more room and looking almost a little oversized paired up with the sweater vest that's both boxy and chunky, it's overwhelming a little bit here. The trousers are also a little bit more stiff because they are a heavier fabric. So overall, this just has a little bit heavy of a feeling to it, which doesn't complement or enhance her more delicate and graceful silhouette. By not reining it in around the waistline anywhere either, it's also kind of creating a little bit more of a rectangular and boxy figure on her, where her natural figure is more hourglass because she has such a well-defined waist. We swapped the top for a flowy blouse or a fitted jumper or sweater. That would have helped a lot with these particular trousers. The collar of the vest is just so chunky and thick that I think it's a tough one to style for her in particular, as it kind of swallows her up a tad. So as you can see, while this outfit got full marks for things like the suitability to the occasion and its finish and an almost perfect fit, it isn't everyone's absolute favorite on Catherine because she doesn't look like she loves it. Her styling, as far as the shoes and the hair, could have been improved, and the clothes themselves, like the actual clothing designs, were not the best choice. They didn't complement her figure the same, and they didn't create the balance that you would generally strive for. Let's compare that to a different gray top and black trousers that she wore. So a sort of similar outfit, not really. It's different in almost every way, but her hair is down and she's wearing trousers and she has a gray color scheme involved. So it's sort of similar. This was February 8th last year, I think, maybe. She visited packed parents and children together, and she wore a Glen check blazer over a black top, black trousers, and matching accessories. As for fit and finish in this particular outfit, it's great. Similar to the last one, we have no visible panty lines or any of those sorts of tragic problems that should be avoided always, of course. She's really good about that. This top here underneath the blazer is nice and fitted, which defines her waist nicely. Very different from the sweater vest situation that erased her waist. So immediately this looks better fitted to her body, complementary to her silhouette. It enhances her figure. Her well-defined waist is an asset. Might as well use it. But the whole outfit looks well fitted as well. We have zero problems with finish. We have zero problems when it comes to fit. Unlike that white undershirt looking like it's too big, this matches her shoulder line perfectly. The trousers are hemmed nicely. We could go on. Styling wise, it does have great flow. These earrings and necklace catch the eye and add a nice needed pop to brighten up the look a little bit. The shoes are perfect, adding balance with that block heel, and they're not peeking out from beneath wider leg trousers here. You've got a nice ankle length that is creating a nice balance and good flow. It's not like distracting, peeking out from beneath the trousers. The added belt is drawing the eye to the waist, further helping to accentuate that area in her figure. It's not a pointless, meaningless belt or one that's drawing attention to an area she doesn't need. It's doing something good for the outfit. Overall, the flow of this is great. Her hair and makeup also complement the look. So for styling on this particular look, it's full marks. As for suitability, this was February, so for the weather, for the time of year, it makes sense. It's also professional, so that's good. The jewelry is small and appropriate. Going and visiting a charity space, she's not flashing super expensive jewels here. She's wearing things that are a little bit smaller. Even if they were expensive pieces, they're small. They're not huge, over the top, dramatic, and eye-catching, and it's not excessive. She's not wearing 2 necklaces, 3 bracelets, 2 watches, 5 rings. She has on her engagement and wedding ring like every day. She has small earrings and a dainty necklace. That's it. It's not excessive, so that makes sense as well. She's literally never dressed out of place, so this is no exception there. As for comfort, she does look confident and comfortable in this. She's not being swallowed up by the clothes. They're not getting in her way. She's able to move and walk well, and it looks like her clothes. She looks like she is wearing her clothing from her closet that fits her body well. Her posture, her energy, her gait all look normal and good in this ensemble, which is another clue of comfort as well. When somebody's posture is a little bit out of whack, they might not be as comfortable. Something might be too tight. Shoes might be slipping off or painful if they can't walk properly. So all of those things are clues for comfort, and she looks comfortable in this. As for the clothing items themselves, they look really nice, especially because they look tailored to her. They look custom, like they belong to her. They are creating a silhouette, the blazer length and form nipping in at the waist, that are enhancing her natural figure. Adding balance to her hips and drawing in her well-defined waistline, the trousers are a straight leg, allowing good balance. She could have gotten away with a slight wide leg if she wanted with this outfit, but this is such a well-balanced silhouette for her and complements her figure so nicely. If you look here, the length of the blazer from shoulder to the end of the blazer and the space after that to the bottom of the trousers is almost a perfect 50-50. So that's another clue of good balance in an outfit. Regardless of if you have a short or long torso, if you go for somewhere around that 50-50 mark, then you're going to be adding balance to your figure, not taking away from it. The blazer also has black in its pattern, which is also called the Prince of Wales pattern, fun fact. So even that is tied in. Near full marks on anything, 0 problems, great result. Polished, chic, not stuffy. Fabulous. So now let's look at a few more outfits and see what wardrobe tricks she really uses as her base to get these superb results nearly every time. There are 2 givens. The suitability is literally 100% accurate all the time. Never have we ever said, what is she doing in that summer dress in the middle of winter? Never have we ever said, why is she wearing an evening dress to a school? You get the point. She always is dressed for the occasion. That's settled. Another one we can write off and just not worry about because it's always a given is the finish. Never do we see panty lines or bra lines. She simply never has that as a feature in her outfits, obviously. So that's great, and credit to her. And almost never do we have trouble with fit. It's extremely rare for something to look too big or too long, and it's even more rare for it to look too tight on her. When she is spotted with some wrinkles in her skirt or her dress, it's usually a completely excusable thing, like after a carriage ride or a long match at Wimbledon in the heat. It's safe to say another element to dressing that she has down is the finish. Enough said there. When it comes to comfort, she typically does look really comfortable in her clothes. One of the secrets to looking comfortable is to ensure that it's the correct size. When it's too big or too small, it is difficult to wear. For example, dresses, skirts, or trousers that are too long inhibit your ability to walk. Not to mention the fact that that looks bad having your clothes drag on the floor. In terms of comfort, it just isn't. When sleeves are too long or too big up near the armpit, they look slouchy and overwhelming. And in terms of comfort, you're having to compete with shoving up sleeves. When things are too tight, you literally cannot move properly. Especially in regards to the torso and midsection. You can't bend down. Sometimes you can't even sit. It makes you look chubby when you're not. Sometimes you can't move your arms properly if things are too tight. So those things don't only make you look not comfortable, but it doesn't look good either. So a careful attention to fit benefits comfort a lot. Catherine tends to style her outfits quite thoughtfully, leaving the engagement and wedding band out of the equation because those are her everyday items. She tends to select jewelry that really does complement the outfit and is suitable to the event. For example, on visits to schools or hospitals, she tends to wear small or minimal jewelry, but for glamour evening events, she does bring out big, beautiful pieces. Take this example. This past Christmas, her earrings are a really elegant, fancy pair, but it was the only embellishment to this outfit, so they really caught the eye and they didn't look over the top. Despite being such a precious piece, they went with the outfit and there was no competition. Since it was a pretty much monochrome look, you catch the eye with the earrings and then the rest just flows really nicely. So it created a nice focal point and it didn't look out of place because of that. Had she tried to add on a lot of other elements to her styling or additional jewelry, it would have gotten out of hand really quickly. She's also really smart with her handbags and shoes. They always go with the outfits. And they're frequently perfect matches to her outfits too. One trick that's super helpful that I always suggest people do when shopping is when you buy a new pair of shoes, the very next thing you should do is either wear those shoes or bring them along to go and buy a handbag that matches it perfectly. Try to find the perfect match to those shoes because nothing ties an outfit together quite as well as perfectly matched shoe and handbag. If you're a belt wearer for men, you can do belts and shoes instead of handbag. And any other accessories that you tend to wear often, if you're somebody who wears a lot of hats or gloves or belts or scarves, it's so helpful when you have shoes, handbag, and other accessories that match, then you can just swap out the actual clothing pieces. And that adds a lot of flow and just really adds a polished factor to your outfits. It makes a huge difference. It really pushes things over the top and elevates your outfits, no matter how basic the actual clothing items may be. When those things match well, it's an impact that can't be beat. And by wearing or bringing along those shoes when you're looking for the handbag or the belt or what have you, you're ensuring that you're getting a really, truly good match. Something that's matched in color and tone and hopefully texture or shine level as well. That would be ideal anyway. And you, of course, can do it the other way around. If you shop for a handbag first, then take it with you to go and try to find a pair of shoes that match it perfectly that you can wear with lots and lots of outfits. When it comes to selecting the garments themselves, the design elements themselves, one of the things she often achieves in her looks is balance. As you can see in this example, the suit jacket is a good length for her, especially with the hem of the trousers being at the ankle. It creates that near perfect balance of torso to leg for the eye. Whether or not she has a perfect proportion of leg and torso length, it looks like she does in almost all of her outfits due to this balancing technique. It is much more obvious in pantsuit styles, obviously, as compared to skirts or dresses, but it is a great technique. And you can also see her create balance when it comes to width of shoulder to hip ratio as well. The length of this blazer provides a taper out at the lower hip line, which is in balance with the shoulders. This is just one of those visually appealing elements that looks right when you see it in an outfit, and it's less noticeable on its own. We oftentimes only notice it when there's a lack of balance and we're like, whoa, that's a really shoulder dominant look. So it's subtle, but it adds a lot because we notice it if we don't balance out those things in an outfit. If we don't balance out the proportions, then we notice it and it looks a little bit out of place, or it just doesn't look as nice. When we do balance it, then nobody notices and it's nice and polished and smooth. Catherine is rather athletic, but her body type really benefits from that well-defined waist that she has. Also has enough length to her torso to make it easy for her to accentuate her waistline. We often see in the majority of her outfits that she does define the waist via a belt or double-breasted jackets. That's not the only styling trick she uses. She also opts for soft or flowy fabrics much of the time. These softer, more touchable options like this sweater skirt set from Cezanne add a warm, feminine touch, or flowy skirts and pretty details like puff sleeves complement her figure well. They add a softness to her silhouette that she really benefits from. Obviously, not everybody has the same model-esque proportions as Catherine, and not everyone has the budget or the skill to tailor everything quite right. But finding a few silhouettes and a few styling elements that work really well for you, that help bring balance to your figure and enhance your assets, and balance out your proportions is the best way to start building a better wardrobe that really complements you. And it makes shopping for outfits a lot easier too. Because, for example, when you know that defining the waist versus blending it works better for you and your body, or what rise fits better on you and looks better on your body, then you can narrow your search when shopping. And seeking to enhance the balance of your silhouette in your outfits is usually a great place to start. Thank you so much for joining me for this special fashion edition featuring Catherine the Princess of Wales. I hope you enjoyed it. Click the like button if you do, and don't forget to subscribe so you do not miss any upcoming videos. Thank you so much again for joining me. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you have a happy day ahead, and I will see you next time. Bye!